all of you. This is 11th class biology, lecture 4 of chapter 4, Animal Kingdom. And today we will discuss about the phylums Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata and Hemichordata. So let's start with the Arthropoda. These are characteristic features of phylum Arthropoda. First is about their habit. These animals are cosmopolitan, means these are found everywhere, okay, all over the world these are present, that's why these are cosmopolitan. Digestive system is complete digestive system here, because in Arthropoda there is organ system level of organization, right? So complete digestive system that is well developed is present here. Mouth parts are different types, okay, in different Arthropoda different types of mouth parts are present. The respiratory system includes gills, trachea, book gills or book lungs, okay. So here you can see respiratory system is also of different. Some Arthropoda animals respire through gills. In some tracheal system is present made up of trachea. In some book gills are present and in some book lungs are present, okay. Circulatory system is of open type. Then about their excretory system. Excretory system is either antennary glands or Malpighian tubules or coxal gland, okay. So these are different structures for the excretion. In some animals antennary glands can be present, in some Malpighian tubules can be present and in some coxal glands can be present, okay. So these are the structure for excretion. These are different structures for the excretion. Aquatic forms of Arthropoda are ammonotelic, means they excrete ammonia, and terrestrial forms are uricotelic, means they excrete uric acid. Uricotelic means they excrete uric acid. Then about their nervous system. Their nervous system has a nerve ring followed by a double ventral nerve cord, okay. A nerve ring is present here. Nerve ring means here around the esophagus ring is made by nerves, okay. So that nerve ring is present here, and double ventral nerve cord means on the ventral side nerve cord is present which is ganglionated. Ganglionated means ganglion cells are present in this nerve cord, okay. Ganglion I told you that another type of cells in nervous system, okay, other than nerve cells. So ganglion cells are present here. That's why these are called ganglionated. Then reproductive system of Arthropoda. Sexes are separate here, means male and female are separate. Both the sex organs are not present in a single organism, right? External fertilization in aqueous forms, okay. In terrestrial form there will be internal fertilization, and in aqueous forms of the Arthropoda there will be external fertilization. Internal fertilization in lead forms, right? These are oviparous, means lay eggs, and some are viviparous as well, means they can lay young ones, okay. Mostly are oviparous. These are some other features of Arthropoda. First is they have jointed appendages. Appendages means any outgrowth which is attached to the body, okay. Any attached outgrowth from the body is called appendage. And jointed appendage means there are joints in that appendage, right? In that outgrowth there are joints, right? Now there are three regions in their body, in the body of Arthropoda. So you can say body of Arthropoda is divided into three main parts. Those are head, thorax and abdomen, right? Also their body is covered by cuticle. Cuticle is the outermost layer above the skin, okay. So their body is covered by a thick cuticle, and also they show a process of ecdysis or molting. Ecdysis or molting means shedding of any body part at a particular time, right? Shedding of any particular part, right? There can be shedding of skin, feathers, hairs, okay. So for for further growth when any organism shed off any body part, that is called molting or ecdysis. So that feature is also found in arthropoda. Then metamorphosis is also present. Metamorphosis means conversion of the larval stages into or any of the life stage to form the adult organism. So here, because development is indirect in the arthropoda, okay, and they show many larval and pupal stages. So the process of conversion of their life stages into an adult organism represent metamorphosis, okay. Now these are some examples of arthropoda: spider, scorpion, crab, prawn, lapisma, insects, etc. Okay, so these are all these are arthropods. Prawn are aquatic organisms here. So these are some examples of arthropods. This is locust, this is butterfly, and this one is scorpion, and this is prawn. So all these are arthropods. Then insects, okay, insecta is a family under the phylum Arthropoda. So all the insects also come under arthropoda, right? So honeybee, insects like honeybee and dragonfly, here you can see, these are also come under the phylum Arthropoda. The next phylum we have is mollusca. These are characteristic features of mollusca. First is about their habit. Generally, these animals are aquatic. Few are terrestrial also, okay, mostly found in water, but some are found on land as well. Their digestive system is well developed, because here also there is organ system level of organization is present. So complete digestive system is present, that is well developed. Salivary glands and liver is also present here in mollusca. Respiratory system, salivary glands means glands which release which secrete the saliva, okay, inside your mouth, okay. So the structure like that, the glands which secrete the saliva are also present in the mollusca, and also liver is present. Then about the respiratory system, gills in aqueous forms, okay, in aqueous form they respire by gills, and pulmonary sac in terrestrial form. The mollusca forms which are found on land, in those form respiration occur by pulmonary sac, means a lung-like structure, okay. Pulmonary word is used for the lungs, and here it is pulmonary sac, so it is a lung-like structure which is found in these animals. Then their circulatory system is of open type. Open type circulatory system means there are no blood vessels, artery and veins are not present. Blood flows without the blood vessels, okay, means all the body tissues bath directly into the blood, right. Excretory system is organs of Bojanus, okay, it's a special type of organ which helps in excretion, that is called organs of Bojanus. Here you can see this is the complete structure of mollusca, right, and this is Bojanus organ. So this Bojanus organ helps in the excretion. These are ammonotelic or ureotelic. Ammonotelic means excrete nitrogen waste in the form of ammonia, and ureotelic means in the form of urea, right. There is difference between the ureotelic and uricotelic. Uricotelic animals secrete their nitrogenous waste in the form of uric acid, and these are ureotelic, means excrete their nitrogenous waste in the form of urea, right. Arthropoda were uricotelic and these are ureotelic. Their nervous system has paired ganglia, right. Paired ganglia is present here. About the ganglia I have told you, and their connectives, okay. So connectives means the cells which connect these. Reproductive system, sexes are separate, both male and female forms are found here separately. Development is direct, means there no life stages are present here, or it can be indirect. So in some forms there are no life stages found, means development is direct, while in some different life stages are present and development will be called indirect. So both type of development can be seen here in the mollusca. Larval forms are glochidium. So for the indirect development, like I'm saying that in some indirect development is also found, right? So in those forms, these are some larvae. Okay, these are some larvae which are found. Larval forms are found only during the indirect development. Okay, so these are larval forms like glochidium, trochophore and veliger. These are the names of some larvae. These are some other features of mollusca. Their body is divided into three parts, and these three main parts are head, visceral mass, that is also called visceral hump, and foot. Okay, so like arthropoda, their body is also divided into three parts, but the names of these parts are different. Univalve or bivalve shell is present. A hard shell is present around the body of all the mollusca, right? And that shell can be univalve, means a single shell, okay? Or it can be bivalve, means in some mollusca, two layers of shells are present, right? So it can be in a single layer or it can be in two layers. Then also mantle and radula are present. Mantle is also a hard covering over the mollusca, and radula is a mouth-like organ for the feeding. Now these are some examples of mollusca like Pila, Achatina, then Pinctata, Sepia, Loligo and Octopus. So here you can see this is Pila, this is a mollusca, this is hard shell which that you can see here, okay? And inside this hard shell there is the actual organism which is present, okay? And this is octopus, this is also mollusca. Now next phylum is Echinodermata. These are the characteristic features of echinoderms. First is about their habit. So these animals are exclusively marine, means these are only found in seas and oceans. These are not found in fresh water or on the land, right? Then their digestive system is simple and complete, because organ system level of organization is found here in echinoderms. That's why their digestive system is complete and it is simple. Respiratory system involves dermal branchiae. Those are gills, okay? These are dermal means it's related to skin. Dermal means skin. Branchiae means gills. So skin gills are present here, right? Or papillae. These skin gills are also called papillae. In singular form, you can say papula. So these papula, or you can say skin gills, are for the respiration of echinoderms. These are respiratory structures in echinoderms. And also tube feet. This is also another structure in some echinoderms for the respiration. Tube feet is a tube-like structure that comes out from the body part near the mouth of echinoderms, okay? And it helps in respiration. Their circulatory system is reduced, means it's not well developed. Excretory system, diffusion through gills, okay? Their excretion occur by gills. So here diffusion occurs through gill. Diffusion means the movement of any substance from its higher concentration towards the lower concentration, right? So that diffusion occurs through gills for the excretion of the harmful substances. And these are ammonotelic, means they excrete their nitrogenous waste in the form of ammonia. About their nervous system, they have circumoral nerve ring and some radiating nerves, okay? Here also nerve ring is present around the esophagus, okay? So a circumoral means around the oral part, nerve ring is present, and some radiating nerves and some other nerves radiating and other body parts are also present here. Brain is absent here in echinoderms, okay? So no brain is present. All the nerve ring is present around the oral part and some radiating nerves are present. Reproductive system, their fertilization is external, means outside the body of animal. Development is indirect, means different stages are involved here. ciliated free swimming larva. Okay, if development is indirect, then obviously there will be a larva, and that larva is free swimming, and ciliated means cilia are present on the body of larva. Some other features of echinoderms. Their body is covered with spines for the protection. So all over their body spines are present for their protection. Head is absent here in echinoderms. Endoskeleton means skeletal system which is present inside. So their endoskeleton is made up of ossicles, small bone-like structures are present here, and you can say endoskeleton is present in echinoderms. Also water vascular system, that is a characteristic feature of the echinoderms. A water vascular system is found here, and this water vascular system helps in locomotion as well as capturing the food. Okay, so in food capture also this water vascular system helps. They have a great power of autotomy. Autotomy means casting off any body part by any animal in case of threat. Okay, if an animal feels any threat, then it casts off its body part. That is called autotomy. Like generally tails are cast off by the animals. Okay, and also regeneration means they can regenerate their body parts. So they have a great power of autotomy and regeneration. Here are some examples of echinoderms. First is starfish, then echinus, echinocardium, antedone, and cucumaria. Right? So here you can see starfish, that is also called asterias. So this is asterias, and this is ophiura. And this you can say because of this star-like structure it is making, that's why this ophiura can also be called brittle star. Now our next phylum is Hemichordata. And first these are the characteristic feature of Hemichordata. First thing is about their habit, and you can say about their habitat. So these are marine, these are found in sea and oceans. Their digestive system is complete, right? Complete digestive system is present here with mouth and anus. Respiratory system, they respire by gills because these are aquatic organisms, these are found in marine water, so these respire by gills. Circulatory system is of open type. Open type circulatory system means they do not have arteries and veins, means blood vessels are absent here. Excretory system has proboscis gland. So these are specific type of glands which help in excretion. Okay, glands are the structure which secrete something. So these glands are for the excretion in hemichordates. The nervous system is present here, and reproductive system, sexes are separate, right? Sexes are separate in hemichordates. Fertilization is external, means outside the body of organism, and development is indirect, means different larval and pupal stages are present. These are some other features of hemichordates. First is cylindrical body. Here you can see this is a hemichordate, and this body structure you can see here, this is cylindrical. Okay, so cylindrical body is present here, which is composed of an anterior proboscis. Here you see this anterior part, this is called proboscis. Okay, a collar, this part is called collar, and a long trunk. So this is a long trunk of hemichordates. Right, this trunk is divided here into two parts. This one hepatic trunk, and this one is the cephalic trunk. Okay, so this complete part from here to here is trunk. So you can say hemichordates are divided into three parts: proboscis, collar, and trunk. And these are some examples of hemichordates: balanoglossus and saccoglossus. So this is the diagram of balanoglossus. So you need to make this diagram in your notebook also. Now based on today's topics, your homework is NCERT question number 7, 3 and 15. Now let's discuss the homework solutions of previous lecture. And I gave one question that differentiate in intracellular digestion and extracellular digestion. So intracellular, intra means inside, cell, inside the cell. Okay, so intracellular digestion occurs within the cells and extracellular digestion occurs within cavity of the alimentary canal outside the cell. Okay, so here in the extracellular digestion, where it is occurring? Inside the cavity of alimentary canal, and it is occurring outside the cell. That's why it is called extra, means extracellular, means outside the cell. Okay, intracellular digestion occurs in lower organisms. Lower organisms like in Porifera, Coelenterata, right? And extracellular digestion occurs in multicellular organisms, means in higher organisms. Enzymes associated are very few. Here for the intracellular digestion, very few enzymes are required. While in case of extracellular digestion, large number of digestive glands and enzymes are required. As you know that in our digestive system, if we talk about the human digestive system, here also extracellular digestion occur in human being also, right? And in our digestive system, there are so many enzymes and so many glands which help in digestion. Okay, but no such enzymes are required in intracellular digestion. Intracellular digestion, next point is, it is less efficient with no regional differentiation. Okay, it is less efficient, means it takes more time to digest the food, and it is not regional differentiation, means different parts are not present here for the different functions, means different parts of the digestion are not done by the different structures in the body. But this extracellular digestion is highly efficient, means it can digest the food fastly with regional differentiation. And you know the different regions are present here for digesting the different components of the food, right? So regional differentiation is present here in the case of extracellular digestion. This is the answer for next question, and here you need to differentiate the direct development from indirect development. So in direct development, the embryo develops into a well-grown individual without involving a larval stage. Okay, so no life stages are present here. What happened here? Embryo directly develops into well-grown individual. But in case of indirect development, sexually immature larval stages are present, means different larval stages are different life stages are present here, and after that there will be formation of a well-grown individual, of an adult organism, you can say. In case of direct development, metamorphosis is absent. Okay, here metamorphosis means conversion of or development of any organism after the birth is called metamorphosis. Like you can say any organism which has taken birth, and after the birth it is developing to form a well-grown individual. Okay, like larva is developing to form a well-grown organism, that is called metamorphosis. So that kind of process is absent in case of direct development, but it is found in case of indirect development, because here larva means larva has taken birth. Okay, and after the birth that organism is undergoing development, that is showing development to convert into a well-grown individual. Then in case of direct development, it occurs in fish, reptile, birds and mammals. So in all these direct development occurs, means no different life stages are found. Some other examples are hydra and earthworm also. And indirect development occur in invertebrate and amphibians, and examples are frog and butterfly. This is the answer for question number 6 of NCERT, and here you need to tell the peculiar features found in parasitic forms of Platyhelminthes, and these are hermaphrodites, means both male and female sex organs are present in single organism. The digestive tract is incomplete. or absent, right? So incomplete digestive system is found in Platyhelminthes parasitic forms. Then presence of well-defined excretory structures such as flame cells. As you know, for the excretion, flame cells are present in Platyhelminthes parasitic forms. Now, presence of antitoxin and thick tegument which is resistant to the digestive enzymes of host. Okay, this feature is very necessary for the parasitic forms of Platyhelminthes because these are parasite. They get their nutrition from the host body. Okay, so to survive inside the host body, they need these things. They need the antitoxins and they need a thick tegument, means layering. Okay, so a thick layer is present to protect them from, or you can say to make them resistant against the digestive enzymes of the host, right? They have anaerobic respiration because these are present inside the body of the organism. Then no oxygen is present there, so these show anaerobic respiration. No special respiratory structure is observed here in the case of Platyhelminthes. Anterior body parts contain suckers, hooks, eye spots and auricles for attachment to the host. Okay, so these different body parts are present here so that they can attach themselves with the host body. Highly developed reproductive system is present so that they can reproduce very at a fast rate.